What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel, and we're here with another video. We're continuing the consistent uploads through the UFC break, and now I'm going to be looking ahead to 2025. I've already done the video predicting the champions at the end of 25, but now what I'm going to be doing is predicting the fighters that are going to have big rises in 2025. Fighters are going to climb up the rankings. Some of these fighters might be unranked right now, and I'm predicting them to end the year in the top 10 or even in the top 5 potentially. Some of them will be at the lower end of the rankings, and I'm predicting them to maybe get into the top 5 or the top 3. But yeah, I'll explain every one of them. I'll explain why I think they could have the potential to end the year much higher in the rankings than they are right now. You guys let me know which fighters you think are going to have a big 2025 and jump up the rankings. But anyway, let's get underway. We're going to start off with the flyweight division. Okay, so flyweight division, Ramazan Temurov. Let me just get out the way before someone comments it. Yes, this is a reskin of my fighters to watch in 2025 video, because I'm trying to come up with content ideas. So I already know someone was going to say that, so I'll get it out the way. I'm basically doing the same thing, but it's changing it slightly, changing the premise of the video. But flyweight Ramazan Temurov, I believe this man is going to make a climb in the rankings because I believe he will get the opportunity. I think this will be a Steve Erceg-esque sort of give him one fight and then give him like a fucking top 5. Like, I think I saw a rumor that he's potentially fighting Charles Johnson. That will get him into the rankings. I believe Charles Johnson's like number 13 or number 12 or something like that. So he'll immediately be in the rankings, and then after that, if he finishes Charles Johnson, even if he just beats him, he'll probably get like an Alex Perez. And if he can beat Alex Perez, I believe is like number 7 or 8. That gets him number 7 or 8. If he can stay active, he can potentially get another fight in, but that would already be, if he gets to number 8, that would already be climbing effectively 7 spots or more, considering that he's unranked. So yeah, I think Ramazan Temurov, this fucking Umar Nurmagomedov lookalike reskin, is going to get a big jump up. I think they're going to need people for Pantoja. They're going to have people for him in 2025, but they're going to want people for him in 2026 if he doesn't lose. So they're going to be setting up some other contenders. Like, I reckon they'll do the winner of Rival Cap. They'll do Kai Kara France, then they'll do the winner of Rival Cap, then maybe he gets one in by the end of the year. But apart from that, they're probably going to be looking ahead to 2026 and being like, who the fuck is this dude going to fight? Because once it's done with, if he beats Kai and he beats the winner of Cap Rival, it's Makayev or no one. Like, so they're going to need people, and I think Temurov is going to be a guy who they look at. I wanted to put Josh Van, but I think they view him more as a guy to slow roll, as someone who they don't want to stunt the growth of. With this Temurov, I assume they think he can probably do well in the top right now, so they might give him that opportunity. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on to the Bantamweight division. Bantamweight division, Peyton Talbot is the safe choice here. Now, I honestly don't think we're going to see any Bantamweights make a crazy jump up the rankings, because, like, who are the guys that are on the rise right now? Like, Marcus McGee, fucking Mario Bautista. Like, there's not a lot of guys on the rise at Bantamweight right now, and there's not that many unranked prospects who I'm like, yeah, they're getting a huge jump. Like, Raul Rosas Jr. is not going to be ranked this time next year. It's going to be like another fucking 3 years before this guy's ranked, which is smart. Like, they shouldn't give him anyone good. But Peyton Talbot does seem like a guy who they might do the O'Malley treatment with. But in saying that, that might mean they give him like another 3 or 4 bums and let him build a highlight reel, and then give him immediately a fucking top 5 fighter. But I could see him KOing Hayoni Barcelos and then just being like, fuck it, let's just do like Talbot versus like a Rob Font. And then if he wins that, then they'll probably just fuck it, let's do a Talbot versus like fucking Corey Sandhagen. I don't know. Like, they could just jump this dude up. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're going to want to slow roll him. But yeah, that's kind of what it seems like to me. I'm not sure. I've also put Vinicius Oliveira as a possibility. If he beats Said, he does seem like a pretty promotable guy. Like, he went from Bernardo Sopai in his debut to Ricky Simone. So it does seem like they might get behind him if he gets this win against Said Nurmagomedov. But I think it's just about prospects that are going to be getting finishes. Like, who do you think is going to be getting a finish that then might randomly be like, oh, we'll just give him a fucking top 5 guy based on availability? Like, if fucking Marcus McGee wins by KO in his next fight, maybe he gets a fucking fight with like Figueiredo. I don't, probably not, but like that's the weirdness that you got to kind of predict when you're doing this sort of video. But I'm gonna go with Talbot as my number one choice. But anyway, let's move on to the featherweight division. Featherweight division, Jean Silva is going to be the fighter to get a big jump up the rankings. He is unranked right now. Now we have this dude ranked number 15, I believe, in the fan rankings, which some people disagreed with because he's only really beat Jourdain at featherweight. But we valued the Dober win, and we kind of like, I know it's a lightweight, but like, yeah, who cares? He's cool. Let's just rank him. But he's fighting Melsik Bagdasaryan February 22nd in Seattle. I think he's going to win that fight, and if he does so by finish, I could see them just giving this dude like a top 10 guy. Like, fuck, skip the Dan Ige test, skip all this shit, and he just gets like a Josh Emmett. Or he just gets like a fucking Brian Ortega, and they do the same thing they did with Lopez. Because he's got the fighting nerd's name. This is my prediction. I'm going to talk about another guy later on. I'm sure you can take a wild guess who it's going to be. But I think 2024 was the year of the fighting nerds building the highlight reel, building their names, getting the unranked wins. And then I think 2025 is going to be the year of these guys asserting themselves as top 10 or top 5 fighters for the most part. Like 2024 was Baralio's year to assert himself as a top guy. But I think for 2025, it's going to be Prates and Gene Silva's year to assert themselves as top guys. And then I think 2026, Rufy will follow just a little bit behind these two with a bit more prospect building. But yeah, I think Jean Silva is going to get a win against Melsik Bagdasaryan and then get a step up. Maybe a Bryce Mitchell. That'd be a bit lower. But he stays active. He's fighting February. He can get 3 fights in next year. Fight February. Fight like a Bryce Mitchell or a Dan Ige on like an international fight week type card setup, and then fight him at like a top 10, top 7 guy in December. I think we could see that. And I predicted Diego Lopez to be ranked top 5 at the end of the year last year. So a lot of people said you're glazing, you're hyping this dude up too much. But trust me, you know, I said BSD would be the number 1 contender, but we ignore that one, and we focus. My featherweight predictions are not bad, so I think we're looking at the year of Jean Silva in the featherweight division in terms of a rising contender, and I think we see this dude set up for like a title elimination fight in 2026. Anyway, let's move on to the lightweight division. Now, I have 2 choices for lightweight, and this is my sort of caveat choice that I'm not as confident on, because Paddy Pimlich, my brother, let me tell you something. If this dude gets that Chandler fight, I can see him winning because Chandler's retarded. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Paddy is mid as fuck. But I do sort of see the vision of this dude managing to fluke his way through the top 15 with the most favorable stylistic matchups, or just opponents choking and being retarded, like Bobby Green shooting a takedown. So I could see Chandler just getting himself guillotined, or ending up doing some weird overextending on a scramble like he did against Poirier after taking Paddy down and getting his back taken randomly, and it goes from like Chandler dominating to him getting choked out. So Paddy is a possibility, but he's not my main choice. I'll reveal my main choice in a second. But if he does beat Chandler, he's going to go from like number 13 to like number 7. And if he gets another one by the end of the year, and even against a lower ranked guy, or against like a Moicano maybe, if he wins, they will probably just move him up, even if the guy he's fighting isn't above him in the rankings. But like even like a Gaethje, loser of Gaethje, Dan Hooker, I could see them doing him versus Chandler. Winner of that fights the loser of Gaethje Hooker. Wouldn't mind that. Anyway, Paddy's not my main choice though. Let's move on to my main choice. My main choice for lightweight is Joel Alvarez. Now, people been saying glaze. They've been throwing out the glaze accusations, but like, I'm sorry, at that point, you're just trying to discredit a prospect if you're acting like Joel Alvarez wouldn't literally beat Islam Makhachev. No, I'm not going to go that far with it, but I've said on time, this dude beats Justin Gaethje. This dude is competitive with Charles Oliveira. Stylistically, these guys are decent matchups for him. This dude fucking smokes Beneil Dariush. This dude might fucking sub Dustin Poirier, I'm not sure. Like, I think the only guys who are bad matchups for him are the heavy wrestlers like Arman Sukin, or obviously like an Islam Makhachev, or like some of these guys who can just kind of take him down, beat him up from top. But I think I wouldn't pick him to beat Oliveira, but like 2 years from now, this dude is just going to be Charles Oliveira. Like, he's going to be Oliveira, and I could even see him being better, because I think he's slightly more defensively responsible on the feet. I think his striking is better than Charles. Not like overall like effectiveness-wise, but like technique-wise. He looks like a better striker than Charles Oliveira, in my opinion. But I think this dude is going to fight a lower end kind of top 10 fighter. He's ranked now, so that helps a lot. Once you've got a ranking next to your name, it gives the UFC the free range to really give you anyone, because they can show like, oh look, it's a ranked fighter versus a higher ranked fighter. Like, it's okay. That's why they fucking moved up Umar to like number 9, so it didn't look weird when he got the fight with Sandhagen. But like this, if Joel Alvarez was unranked, nah, he's not going to be getting a fucking like Dan Hooker fight. But like, as soon as you got a ranking next to your name, you can get a lot of different fights. So I think we see this dude fight. Who can he fight? I'm trying to think who's not booked a lightweight right now. I want to do Jalen Turner and he can smoke Jalen Turner, but I don't think the UFC will do it. But I don't know. He'll win a fight, maybe like a BSD, right? So he would smoke BSD. But he wins a fight, lower end of the rankings, and then after that, they go to Spain. The UFC goes to Spain, and they need big fights on the card, and they don't really have that many guys from the region to put on the card. So they give Joel Alvarez a jump up, and they give him a Dan Hooker or a Justin Gaethje or one of these guys, and he wins. And we see Joel Alvarez end the year as like the number 5 ranked lightweight. That is my vision for Joel Alvarez. That's what I think is going to happen. Anyway, let's move on to the welterweight division. Guys, don't leave, guys. Don't click off the video. Carlos Prates, let me tell you about this kid. No, see, am I doing this deliberately at this stage? Perhaps. Am I also correct? Most definitely. Now, hear me out here. Carlos Prates. Now, I know I said in my last video he's going to be welterweight champion at the end of the year, which I'm standing on. That's happening. And my theory has been already a step in the right direction, you could say. Because Carlos Prates posted on his Instagram story a graphic, like a graphic with him fighting Leon Edwards, like an AI image of him fighting Leon Edwards, right? And he captions it with soon. So if my calculations are correct, that means he's fighting Leon Edwards. Now, I'm going to be like those guys on Twitter, that fucking Ruben King or that real Kevin K guy, that spastic that just fucking posts fight announcements with no actual confirmation. Just be like, yep, confirmed Prates versus Leon per sources, guys, aka per Prates' IG story. But it might happen, and it actually wouldn't surprise me, because did I not say in my Predicting Champions video, they're going to give this dude a random, undeserved fucking jump up the rankings, which I'm definitely not going to make a video slandering like I would if it was a Dagestani. So before you comment that and say, oh, but Umar, you got mad, yes, you're correct. There's double standards. I do not shy away from that at all. But he's going to fight Leon, perhaps, potentially. But even if he doesn't fight Leon, I don't think we're messing around with the fucking, Prates versus Jeff Neal, Prates versus fucking Wonderboy even. Like, they're going straight to the top 5. This dude's getting JDM, he's getting Leon, or he's getting like an Ian Gary. I don't think they would do Gary just because they probably want to rebuild him. But like, he's getting, I think, JDM or Leon. I think Leon's an easier matchup for him, and I think that's the one he's going to get. I think it's going to end up really annoyingly shit for Sean Brady, because I think he's going to... Sorry, for Jack Della Maddalena. Because I think he's going to get Sean Brady. He's going to get stuck with his worst matchup in the division behind Bilal. And then Prates is going to get Leon, which should be what JDM's getting, or Usman. And then Usman's going to get Buckley. And JDM's just going to be left with his worst matchup in the division and probably lose. But Prates versus Leon, if that gets made... then cross it off the fucking bingo card. You could say he's already top 5. Like, he's KOing Leon, trust. Now, people be saying, Glaze, like, how are you going to say he beats all these top 5 guys, bro? But then I put up a poll and 65% of you were saying Prates KOs Leon. So, like, am I glazing or am I just correct and you guys are just saying Glaze for the sake of it? Like, that's the question that needs to be asked. But I think even if he doesn't fight Leon, okay, now, if he loses, I'm going to mysteriously delete this video, but no, if he loses, whatever, he'll probably still end up like 5 spots higher in the rankings than he is, because he'll probably just get, like, you know how BSD lost to Poirier and then still gets a fight higher than him in the rankings with Moicano? That's what'll happen. Like, he might lose to Leon by fucking split decision or UD boring, like, out grapples, whatever, right? Then he'll probably just get Wonderboy. He'll probably just get Wonderboy if he loses to Leon and still jump up the rankings anyway. So it won't be as much. But this dude's number 13 right now. If he gets booked against number 1 Leon Edwards, I can't lie, that would be obnoxiously fucking undeserved. But I'm here for it. So I think Prates KOs Leon. I think it's his best matchup in the top 5 in terms of a guy who isn't going to out-grapple him as easily as someone else, like a Brady or a Shavkat or an Usman, right? Or even a Buckley, even though Buckley's probably a bit more open on the feet than Leon, obviously. But Leon's got no power, and he backs up, and he gets hurt and wobbled in fights, and he gets cracked and tagged by mid-wrestler boxers. So I think Prates KOs him. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the next division. Middleweight division, Gregory Rodriguez is going to beat Jared Cannonier by KO, and that immediately makes me correct, and then that's the only reason why he's in here. Because if he wasn't booked to fight Jared Cannonier, I would not know who the fuck to put. I would be looking around being like, is Joe Pyfer going to get another fucking top 10 guy? Like, is fucking Ikram Aliskerov going to beat Muniz and just randomly get, like, fucking Brendan Allen? I don't know. Like, who knows? Is Botnickel going to get the easiest matchup for him in the top 15? Like, I don't know. Who knows? Is some unranked fighter going to get, like, a Vittori fight and win? Who knows? Like, is Dorita going to fucking beat Holland and then get, like, DDP? Who knows? But Gregory Rodriguez is booked to fight Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier is like number 8 in the division, I believe, number 7, number 8. I think Rodriguez wins that. I think Cannonier's chin is a bit cooked, and I think he can win that. So if he does, I do not think Rodriguez is top 5 caliber. I don't think he'll get higher than that. I think this is like one of the lower ends, like all the guys I've named so far, except maybe Timurov and maybe Talbot, but like Prates, Gene Silva, Alvarez, even Paddy, these guys I think can get higher than Rodriguez. If Rodriguez beats Cannonier, I don't think he'll get much higher than that. Like maybe he gets Whitaker and just chins him. That could happen. But I don't think he'll get higher than this. So maybe Gregory Rodriguez ends the year in the top 5. It's the year of Robocop. But I think he KOs Cannonier still in a tough fight, like for a few rounds, and then he just catches him and finishes him. So yeah, I think he'll end the year in the top 10. Anyway, let's move on to the next division. Light heavyweight division, Umar Sy is my pick for light heavyweight. I also have Jing Ming Ying, fucking Ming Yang Zhang, Ding Dong Ding. I also have big Chinese boy plus 2,000 social credit here as well. But Umar Sy is my main pick because he's already lined up with a top 15 guy. He's lined up with Alonzo Menefield. I think he's going to win that. And you know the UFC goes to Paris every year. You already know they're going to want some higher ranked fights. Maybe like BSD's cooked now. They aren't main eventing him. And Mavov's fighting Izzy. If he wins that, who the fuck knows if he's going to fight again, like before he gets the title shot. He probably will have to. So maybe in a Mavov main event. But like they're going to want some higher ranked guys. So I could see them, I'll say something, I could see them doing Menan Furo versus Shevchenko as like a Paris main event fight night for the belt. I wouldn't mind that actually. Like I hate women's main events, but if it was a women's title fight main event with still the same level of undercard, I think we let that slide. But Umar Sy, if he beats Menefield, he's not the most active guy, but if he beats Menefield, I could see them giving him a lower ranked, like a top 10 fighter, like an Ozdemir or one of these guys. Try and find a favorable matchup, like a washed Blachowicz or some shit somehow. I don't know, but I feel like we see an Umar Sy top 10 appearance in 2025. That's my prediction. And then the other guy, Jing Mang Yang, fucking Chinese boy here, square ass head. I think he's gonna just KO a bunch of people and probably get like top 10. I don't know. It depends how fast they try and like track him. But like they gave this dude Brenson Haberia and Ozzy Diaz. Like I don't know if they're off to the races with him. I think he could beat a lot of guys. Like I could see them if Johnny Walker sticks around a light heavyweight after losing to Gushkov. You already know they're getting this dude fucking to chin Johnny Walker for the 7th time. But other than that, I'm not really sure who else is going to climb the rank. Maybe like Artem Vadakov. That's honestly not a bad call. Just if they want to fast track him for Pereira. Could see that. Anyway, let's move on to the heavyweight division. Heavyweight division, Ryan Spann, who is not a heavyweight, but he's going to be my prediction because he's fighting at heavyweight. He is now an honorary heavyweight. He's already booked for a top 15 guy. So this sets the stage perfectly. He's booked to fight Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think he wins that. I think Waldo's like number 13 because they cut Romanov and Nascimento, so everyone got moved up too, which is very funny. And allowed Mick Parkin and fucking Shamil Gaziev to join the rankings. But Waldo Cortez Acosta, I think he's going to lose to Ryan Spann. And after that, Ryan Spann, who knows who they give him. Will he be top 5? No, because I think that's the cap out of anyone who's not really skilled. Like, the unranked light heavyweights can still be top 10 at heavyweight. I think you got to be a top 10 heavyweight to be top 5. A top 10 light heavyweight to be top 5 at heavyweight. Like, Rakic, I think, would be a top 5 heavyweight. Ankalaev would be a top 5 heavyweight. I do believe Pereira would be a top 5 heavyweight. Like, these guys would be top 5. I don't think Spann's quite good enough to get there. Like, I do think he probably would get, like, out-grappled by an Almeida or a Spivak. Maybe even Spivak he beats, though. But, like, just via athleticism and speed. Like, but I think this dude comfortably beats Waldo Cortez. If he gives a fight with, like, Tai Tuivasa, he's sleeping Tai Tuivasa, just gonna say it. So yeah, Ryan Spann, he's in for a good run. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. Also, Rizvan Kunaya, this fat blob, if he beats Curtis Blades, will be top 5. But anyway, I don't think he will. But that'll do it, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and goodbye.